ideology because to Ali's point,
I,
if it's all
I think that's a W for Hafiz because he acknowledges that the Western version of it is all emotions, you
It
know.
is.
But that also goes to what Coach was saying earlier. And
Time out. Time out. Time out. Hear me out. This is something I've been saying also on Instagram for a long time. Women, especially in the West, especially in the US, everything is I love him. He has to look he has to be cocoa dark skin like Idris Elba. He has to be Diesel like The Rock. He has to be hung like a horse. He has to have money like Bill Gates. He gotta be sensitive like John Legend. He gotta sing to me like Robin Thicke.
My swag right, feeling crispy clean. Girl, I'm the flyest mother you've ever seen. So much money.
Welcome back to the Hear Me Out podcast. I am your host, Michael May, and today we're gonna get right into this one. I'm gonna actually be reacting to Mediocre Tutorial's reaction to Coach Greg Adams' interview that he had, right? But here we go. So I want the mic, so I'll toggle right into the mic. But one, I want to say this. Y'all already know I've been all over Instagram, always showing love. Big shout out to Coach Greg. Y'all already know I'm down with the Coach Squad. Coach Gang is in the building. I've always said it. Coach Greg Adams is a GOAT. He should have been had his flowers, but I think Mediocre Tutorials is starting to catch on that he's a GOAT. Y'all guys are gonna watch some footage with me. But what we really here talking about today is why men. I've already had this discussion before. Why men should always have some kind of prenuptial agreement, marriage contract, something there when it comes to you being married. Because in this country, the laws favor the woman. And I'm sorry, ladies, sometimes your minds be going up and down. But we're going to get into this. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. Listen, this video is goated. Let's go.
clean,
Fair use.
clean, and it's so sad when you see this shit.
Leverage. Break down what you mean by leverage. Are you talking about in a marriage before you get married? Are you talking
Correct.
about a prenup? You're talking about a set of rules, guidelines? What's this leverage you're referring
Well,
to?
a lot of men, a lot of men are looking to be loved, right?
Facts.
So a lot of men, the transaction is always men.
And I
here.
try to say, listen, bump love. You want to be respected. Let go.
Women receive. So in this instance, once men do a lot of giving, they may sacrifice, they may risk things, but they're risking the little things that they have. They don't know what they're going to lose in the future, right? So by that point, they will probably avoid a prenup. They might say, I don't need a prenup. I don't have anything, right? And so he'll get married. He'll build some things. Once the commitment is made and once the investment is made, then he has something. So then when they say, but you better love her right, you better screw her right, you better appreciate her right, and he says, well, it's still not working, she's not happy. Well, then he knows he can measure how much he's going to lose because he now has leverage, but the leverage is attached to a marital contract. And then at that point, he can say, well, I don't want to lose my 2 or 3 kids. I don't want to lose my house. I don't want to lose
what I
my
was saying
car.
earlier.
He knows then, and also he has no protection. He didn't get a prenup.
Now, fellas, hear me out. For y'all to go into a relationship or a marriage and for you to automatically think, like he said, just because you go into the marriage with nothing doesn't mean that's where it's going to stay. Y'all have to have the mindset of a giant. You have to be doing things, figuring out ways to have more income, more money. Figure it out, fellas. In a marriage, it always works best when you have some type of leverage. Like whether it's your leadership skills is incredible, your ability to financially take care of the family is incredible. You have to have some kind of, there has to be a leverage in order for it to really work in your favor. If not, it's going to swing completely into a woman's hands. But let's keep going.
Up because he didn't have leverage. This is what a lot of young men in their 20s don't understand because they don't know what they're going to lose. They can't.
They don't know what they're going to be able
Once
to
you're
leverage.
40 and you've accumulated things and you have leverage, you have position at a company, and a woman says, "Hey, I want to marry you," and you will know what you're going to lose. And at that point, you can make a conscious decision whether to engage in a state-funded marital contract.
Yeah.
That's leverage. Most men get married without the leverage.
Did you have a prenup?
Oh, coach! I wonder if the other brother got a prenup.
When you got married?
Now, I will say, Coach was cooking. See, hear me out. Coach Greg, what do I... Listen to me, please. What is the one thing y'all always heard me say? I don't speak about anything that I can't bring you my personal experience. I have to bring you my personal experience so you can understand this channel is based on truth. Same way like my other gaming channel, True Hall of Fame Builds. Go subscribe to that channel. But just like that channel over there, it's based on truth. If I am not giving you the truth, what am I doing here? What is Coach Greg Adams doing here? But now, Coach, so now it's 3 people on the panel. One guy from the roommates, this gentleman here, and another woman. But Coach is the only man that has the experience that the young men need to hear because he's already been married and divorced. So he understood, and the laws in California, if you know, once you've been with the woman in California for 10 years, you're already on the hook. You're already screwed. But let's keep on going.
I was married at 28, 27, engaged at 27, 28. So absolutely not.
You did not have one.
Nope.
And if you ever get married again, would you get a prenup?
I would advise
Clearly,
every
yes?
man. I mean, listen, a prenup is somewhat of a protection.
Yeah.
It's just something
Yeah.
to fight over in court. If there's something to be
Yeah.
there, she could just fight it, and now you lost on the money,
Yeah.
right?
Did-
But I did not. I would encourage men to do so if they want to do
Allie,
it.
when you got married, did you have a prenup?
advice.
No, and honestly, like just hearing you speak, I feel like you come from a place that obviously had a negative experience with stuff, or you kind of, I guess I can't imagine ever looking into a marriage, like even going into the thought of marriage, maybe because I was so young and I didn't have to, of with so much like guardedness. I feel like
Fuck that. No one in this chat listen to her, okay? If she doesn't want to get a prenup, listen, for you young cats out there who are getting married with no prenup, that
Now, I have to agree. Now, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews is another brother that every time I reach out to him, he shows love. He gives me feedback. He responds. So I respect what he's saying. Yes, this lady right here, there should be no fella, no man viewing this video, looking at this woman and taking her advice. Remember, she's speaking from a point of view of a woman. The woman always gets the benefit of a marriage. What have I always been telling you guys? A marriage commitment is gold for a woman. Your commitment to her, to lock her down and give her somebody who's gonna forever be responsible for her, is gold. Let's keep going.
that to me is you are buying the motorcycle in downtown New York. You live in Midtown, and your only way to get to work is with the motorcycle. Right? Like, you're putting yourself at goddamn risk. I don't know the actual statistics regarding motorcycles and kind of accidents and shit like that, but you guys know what it is that I'm saying. It's a live stream. If this is a pre-record, I go back and look at some data, facts, and statistics and bring it to you guys' attention. But we're in a live stream right now, so we'll figure it out. Shout out to Devil's Advocate. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Let me get this straight. The only happy marriage she knows of is her own. Yeah, you must be a little bit back in the stream. And she is paid to have intimacy with her husband. Oh, is that, does she have like an OnlyFans or something? Is this his case? It is the other men pay her through her OnlyFans. Yeah, it's a clown world that we particularly live in. Oh, you did donate $20. Can't make this up. Shout out to TLA and MTR. Shout out to Devil's Advocate. I appreciate the support. Let's keep it rocking.
Going into a marriage and falling in love with someone, there's a little bit of a leap of faith there.
A lot of
and
it.
So sometimes when you make it too transactional, I don't know. I feel like for me, it would take a lot away. And maybe again because I was so young, we were kids ourselves. We didn't have anything to protect. But I feel like maybe that mindset is what's quite toxic for people that aren't able to find love. Is when you constantly live in that, well, she might screw me over. I got to protect this. Like, how can
My
I already
kid
know I
means
don't do retakes
everything
on
to
commercial
me.
break, so
Everything I do is
you ever fully let yourself like go and submit to just being in love and like letting that guard down? And I think the women have a lot to lose too. It's not just men, obviously.
I think that's a fair point. There is a thought in there that there's a lot of dudes in the red pill community that continue to go forth with this scarcity mindset. The stream yesterday, I brought the thing up about taking the trips and shit like that. And what I say, I think it comes from a scarcity mindset perspective. So there's a decent point within there is what I'm saying as well. But I think kind of the characteristics of red pill, it does breed a degree of scarcity, even though they teach degree of abundance within that, how to treat yourself as a man, to grow your abundance, da-da-da. But there is a sense in there of how could you ever be truly happy if you're so not trusting of anything around you.
Right.
But anyway, let's keep going.
But we don't speak from the women's perspective because we're men.
Yes.
But we also have to understand people go homeless over this. People
That's a
lose their
fact.
lives over this. This
Oh,
is serious.
yeah.
It's like saying I joined the military and I was just hoping that
Yeah.
I came out of the war not injured, not disabled, not ruined mentally. And then, I don't know why you would
Yeah.
go over there and think that. Well, this is a battle. And the battles are won and lost in these
It's
marriages.
not a battle though. I think this is where the language has to be used correctly.
let's go.
And I think to me, I love the balancing act that's
I want to say this. This guy right here, he's a pretty smart man. Now, what I want to say is this. You see, he is speaking from a place of inexperience when it comes to being married, when it comes to being taken advantage of. So you have to kind of take what he's saying with a grain of salt, but he still has some points. He's a smart businessman. You got to give this man his credit. But I really want y'all guys to understand that part. But let's let him continue.
going to happen today, because I think what's going on is that I understand.
Let's go.
So there's this idea of Eastern versus Western marriage. Let's just say Greg is on the East, she's on the West. Eastern marriage is all about logic. Does it
Yes.
make sense?
Yeah.
Arranged marriages, right? Two families, two worldviews, two ideologies. Doesn't matter how you feel. It matters, does
Math.
it make the most sense?
They're the most successful, by the way, arranged marriages.
We can talk about
They
that
are.
in the
Yes,
future.
sure. Yes.
This is a fact. This is something that women have to understand. Ladies, there's some key points coming up right now. If you let the men in your family choose the men that you're going to be with, the man that you're going to be with for the rest of your life, I guarantee you, your level of success would skyrocket. But you are choosing. That's why, y'all ladies, when you're dating somebody that dating leads to sex. Courtship leads to marriage. When the men in your family are involved in your decision making, the likelihood of you being much more successful is always going to be greater. But let's keep going.
So Greg comes from that mentality of, if you're gonna get in this agreement, you need to write out the agreement clear as day. What does this entail? What does it get? If you leave, you get this. If you leave without this, you don't get nothing. Like, it's a very systematized business kind of contract, because it's
a business
a
contract.
business
So why
contract.
would you not have a terms of agreement for a business contract? He seems to understand that in more traditional societies in the East, it's more successful. And then he also concedes that it's a business contract. So why would there not be terms and agreements within that business contract? Shout out to this old lady, Patreon.
Now, what he's saying is correct. So if you know, yes, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, marriage is a business. You are in the business of marriage. You ready? Jay-Z and Beyonce. Y'all heard all the rumors, Jay-Z cheated and he did all this, but Beyonce understands the business of marriage. Jay-Z is my husband. I am his wife. The business of marriage is it reigns supreme over your individual feelings. But let's keep going.
Supporter. Thank you so much, Mama, for the $50 super chat. Relationships are transactional. Negotiate, communication, and renegotiate.
Right.
Love is a verb.
Right.
Shout out to this old lady. I appreciate the love, support, as well as the respect. Let's keep going.
Right.
Because, and this is why when you were talking about the idea of like when men fail in marriage, they lose everything. That's wrong.
No, I didn't say they lose everything, but they lose an awful lot.
Let's stop.
Yes.
That's still wrong.
Well, why is it wrong?
Because,
I mean,
let me
let's
tell you
talk
why.
about it.
Because when men lose at anything in life, they lose a lot. You lose your job. Who's gonna come save you? Who if you screw your friends over? Like as a man, that's the name of the game. You lose, you're gonna lose a lot.
All right. See? Like I said, he is speaking. He is. Hear me out. You can only reach people to their deepest level of understanding. Ready? If I'll give you a great example. When my son was really young, he stole something. So what me and my brother Gotti did was we arranged for my son to actually be arrested. Like, we wanted him to go into the precinct. We have police officers in our family. So we try to arrange for him to get arrested and really go behind the cage. Like, we want to do a convict. We wanted the gate, he wanted him to hear that slam so he could understand I never want to hear this sound ever again in my life, right? But it gave my son a sense of I never want to be here ever again. And like even his mom, like we were all like, I said, listen, I try to get him arrested. So we were all kind of like on it, like trying to make sure he understood you're going down the wrong path and we love you and we don't want to see that for you, right? But the experience changed them almost immediately. Like literally he was like this. But this guy right here, he's never really experienced a divorce. But you're gonna hear him say some crazy, fellas, y'all gonna hear him say some, he's gonna go off the chain. Just give him a second.
You fail, you're gonna fail a lot. So I'm not saying that it's wrong, like marriage doesn't count. I'm saying marriage is a part of all the things as a man where you cannot get wrong, which is why I agree with the message that you're giving at times. That's why you gotta be 100% serious. You don't go at this naive. You don't go at this because you understand that there is a cost for this decision. So going back to
I think
Easter.
what's missing in his comparison is that, again, you're signing up for a contract where if broken, it puts the man much more at a negative position.
Right.
Am I tripping? W in the chat if you understand what it is I'm saying. L's in the chat if you agree with Hafiz from the roommates. W's and L's. I gotta see something. Shout out to the super chats that's coming in as well. Shout out to Wilson's4 for the $10. Is that a super chat? That looks like a super sticker. I appreciate the love. Shout out to Lightel. Facts, marriage was created for virgin women. That's why the wedding gown is white, which represents purity. If a woman even have one previous partner, she disqualifies herself from wife status. So
hold on, time out. I've been saying this on my Instagram for the longest. What was it? 3 days ago, I had a conversation with a few women who was in a live, and a lady asked, what qualifies a woman as a traditional woman? What would make a woman a wife? And one of the first things I said was, well, biblically, for you to be considered a wife, you're supposed to be a virgin. So you not being a virgin automatically disqualifies you. And women were like, what? I'm like, even if you had one partner, you're disqualified. Why? Because the minute you sleep with the first man, you're bonded. Even in the Bible, the intercourse is what I think. I hope I ain't saying it wrong. Consummates the marriage, right? It makes it official. That's the final step. So now, once she leaves that man and goes to another man and sleeps with another man, she becomes an adulterer. Y'all don't want to hear the truth. Y'all so in love with these lies. But I've been saying this. I've been saying this for the longest times. Now the thing is this. It's cool. I get it. Most women, they don't want to hear the truth. That's fine. It doesn't mean that the end result's gonna change. But let's keep going.
I understand the argument that he's putting up, but it's not even. It's not even. And it has to be acknowledged. And that's just the thing. The thing is that I don't shit on men that inevitably do this. But if I have a conversation with them and they don't know the stats, they don't know the data.
Right.
Like they don't understand that the majority of women initiate divorce. Right. Like if they don't understand what they're putting up for risk. Right.
Yep.
If they don't understand these things, and it's just like, oh God, you just signed up for a contract that like, and the thing is, like, these divorce lawyers, they're waiting for you. They got their CD. They've worked their entire lives. Meanwhile, they're like $500,000 in debt, and they've worked their entire lives in learning, education, and salesmanship to get in her ear. Wait, what? Oh, he doesn't do what for you? Oh, God. Oh, well, come over here. Come into my office. Do you know what you're entitled? You've been married for her for how long? 10 years and a day?
Right.
His eyes light up. Oh, that's about $100,000 I can take off of my goddamn student loans. His eyes light up. Oh, really? 10 years and a day? Cha-ching! Cha-ching! And then you got the fucking government. You got the goddamn, have you guys read Title D? Where states get paid more for the more child support that they can charge? Like, have you guys taken a look at this shit? Mr. I'm engaged at 20 years old, and I'm just riding free.
So your message said you wanted to talk about insurance? I said I want you to talk about insurance. Most people know that bundling home and auto
It is what it is.
Free and blind into this decision. My thing again, I will not shit on you if you just. I've had family members everywhere.
Two ideologies, because to Ali's point,
I think that's a W for Hafiz, because he acknowledges that the Western version of it is all emotions, you know. But that also goes to what Coach was saying earlier. And
Time out. Hear me out. This is something I've been saying also on Instagram for a long time. Women, especially in the West, especially in the US, everything is, I love him. He has to be Coco dark skin like Idris Elba. He has to be Diesel like The Rock. He has to be hung like a horse. He has to have money like Bill Gates. He got to be sensitive like John Legend. He got to sing to me like Robin Thicke. And then he got to get the fuck out of here. Hear me. Let me calm down. Hear me out. Everything here in this country is based on feeling. Hear me out. Ladies, it's unfortunate. Y'all don't want to be married. Y'all want the celebration. But you don't want the marriage, because the marriage is going to take work that y'all really don't want to put in. But let's just keep going anyway.
in a sense of that that our media has been dominated by women, right? So it makes sense that the talking points that have pandered to women are feelings or emotional based, right? Like this idea of Disney pushing fairy tale princesses, it's female based. It is. I think that's a W for Hafiz. He understands that component. That component. Let's go.
All logic, it's boring. If it's all robotic, there's no passion, there's no excitement, there's no je ne sais quoi. It's just a dry thing that in the modern world, people don't want that, right? But if it's all feelings, there's no structure, there's no protection, there's no wisdom, there's no guidance. So I think it's a marriage of those two ideas to be able to create long-term solutions for long-term.
This is the reason why I always say, y'all have to be honest, fellas, with your ladies. Be honest. Hey, I want to marry you, but I'll marry you if we do this. Okay, I'll marry you, but I don't want to do that. Like he said, the marriage contract. You don't have to get married by the state. But if you sit there, you draw up paperwork, hey, look, why would I get married under God but then get divorced in the courthouse? Then that's not under God. Because if it's under God, then it means that you want a divorce, fly all those people back. All of y'all put on your tuxedos and your suits and your dresses and everything. Get all the caterers again, all come back to the same spot and say we don't. That's not what happens. That's neither here nor there. But let's keep going. Ladies, man, y'all gotta start picking your men, not because, oh my God, he looks so good. Oh my God, he makes so much money. But then you get mad when you get the outcomes that you get.
Term success. And that's why I just think sometimes when we come from too much leaning on one direction, either or, it becomes problematic.
I believe he agreed with me, though.
Right.
I thought he was disagreeing.
Well, I guess
I was agreeing. Yeah. That's how I play it.
Right. So the argument is still, this is the reason why you men shouldn't get married without a prenup. You should not get married without some kind of paperwork smack right in the middle. Why? Because we live in a country where the laws are linked all the way on the side of the women, and you're not going to win unless you have something right down the middle to keep you guys on that even heel. But let's keep going.
So just to be clear,
I'll give you guys I'm gonna give you guys a real life example. Shoot, I wish she was up. When I explained to my lady, I think I told you guys this before, like how I would marry her. You know, we're gonna sit down, get our marital contract, this and that. One. She said, "So let's go. That's a smart woman. Why? Because she understands not only do I have something to protect, I am a man of means. I am a man that I'm not just some regular person walking in the street. And she understands all it takes is one little switch and things could take off like wildfire. So she understands that. But not only that, she also understands, her being a woman of God, she understands that being married by the state is not being married under God. So you see, and this is where you guys have to be aligned with your beliefs and understandings, because if not, it's always gonna fall all over the place. But let's keep going.
Did you get a prenup when you got married?
No, and I
didn't.
I'll explain to you guys why. So I think, and I talked about this, I love the prenup conversation. I think it's important. I'll just there's three.
Hafiz. Shout out to this old lady, $20 super chat. Tell your body count, man. If you wanna marry her, you have a right to know. Shout out to this old lady down into the building. Run the Carfax. All right.
Media was funny. Now, he just gave away one of my tools, and before Kevin Samuel said it, I said this. Ladies, you want to know one bona fide fact, one for sure way to know if a man is really truly interested and really wanting to be with you? If he asks you, so how many men have you been with? I've spoken to women all my life, even on lives, so there's no lying. The proof is out there. I say, there was one lady, I'm not going to mention her name, she's in Canada. Me and her were talking. I said, has any man ever asked you these 3 questions? I asked my questions, and one of them was, so how many partners have you had? No man really ever asked me that. And I said, there should be no wonder. You shouldn't be like, why am I still single at this age? Because no man cared enough to want to know the information that he would need to ensure that he was going to pursue a healthy, successful relationship with you. He didn't care. So because he didn't care, that's the reason why you're single. Whoa.
You can ask all you want, by the way. She ain't gonna tell you the truth. Run the Carfax, says this old lady. Shout out, we getting wisdom from all around the world. I appreciate that. Let's get back in there. But Hafiz, oh, my brother, who is your friendship group?
Right.
God.
None of your male friends told you to get a prenup.
You're an entrepreneur. Why not?
Right.
Did you get a prenup when you got married?
No, and I
You
explained,
didn't?
I explained
I'm sorry. L's for Hafiz down into the chat. Let's take a quick look. Let's like. I thought that you'd be dead. Is it that they're talking to? Let me also bring up some information as well.
I don't think anyone would guess that I got
Crazy.
this from Kohl's. I think we've been sleeping on them.
Making everybody be like, holla,
Come on now. All these damn commercials.
Because, shit.
Now, we're going to leave it right there, right? But it was extremely important for you to understand. There were so many factors hit in such a short period of time. It was incredible. It was to the point that even Mediocre Tutorials is like, oh, Coach Greg is cooking. Coach Greg been a GOAT, man. He's been a GOAT. You understand what I'm saying? And, fellas, I've been saying this for too long now. On social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, and now I'm bringing it to y'all here. Protect yourself at all costs. Believe in yourself. Grow who you are as a man. Desire to want to be more as a man, and you will be successful. I'm your host, Michael May. Hear Me Out Podcast. Until next time, we are out.